Hello, you're listening to Hibs Talk. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Stuart.
Hello there.
And Stephen.
Good evening.
So, episode 99. For those who are asking why we didn't do an episode on Monday, if we had done one on Monday and tonight, then this would have been episode 100. And we're organising a couple of special things to mark the occasion, so we'd rather hold off on that. So, so apologies it wasn't up on a Monday and we're up tonight instead. But, so 99 episodes, almost 100.
Getting there.
Aye.
Slowly but surely.
Aye. Just to quickly say, we're going to be doing a lot in the 100th episode, so if there's anybody that wants to get in touch on social media at HFC Talk, letting us kind of know your favourite moment of the podcast so far, whether it's maybe Hanlon's interview or Fontaine's interview or that, or we've always posted the links to this on highbeastbouncing.net, so if you want to post under there as well.
Don't worry, Stuart, we've got Paul Kane and Mickey Weir as well for your age range.
Good man, good.
And like I say, we'll read them out. And
what about getting Keith right in? I'll give him a call.
I do that. Mm-hmm. You only come at us with this now, 99 episodes.
Well, you've got to get Keith for the 100.
We could actually, to be fair, we'll just get 5 minutes.
We'll speak to you about after that. So like I say, we'll read out the best ones on next week's show. So on today's show, though, we're going to be looking at the Hibs ladies result. We're going to look at Jack Ross's first two games, obviously the Motherwell game and the St Mirren game. We're going to do a quick Hibs quiz. We'll look ahead to the Kilmarnock game and we'll finish up with your guys' questions. But first, if you're heading along to the Aberdeen game on the 7th of December, make sure you bring along what you can and donate to the Hibs Food Bank. So, helping local people in crisis by bringing them items from the list. We'll share the list. There's things on it like milk, sugar, fruit, juices, soup, pasta, all that sort of stuff. Instant mashed potato, all the things are really good. But we'll share this list. And if you can't make along to the game, you can drop it off to the club store from Monday the 2nd to Friday the 6th of December.
Where does it go, Gav?
So it goes to the Hibernian Community Food Bank, and it's the feed families at Christmas and stuff like that. So really good cause.
Superb.
Solidaritynotcharity.com if you want to find out more information about that, and obviously all the socials and stuff. But so quickly on Hibs ladies then, Stuart, I know you were saying you kind of watched bits of the game and stuff, and
yeah, I turned it over a couple of times just to catch the score, because I was on the social media and somebody, it's a goal. So I caught a couple of the goals, and the goal it's a pity, the last minute. Big last score, seemingly, they've got a lot of Scottish players, and they're quite strong, so they did well. So it's a shame, but they got there. Mm-hmm.
And I think there's been a bigger gap between Glasgow City and Hibs this season, unfortunately, which hopefully can claw back next season. Yeah. But and then to go 1-0 up, and then it's a really exciting game, and it's last minute to kind of concede. Is
that by because some of the girls from Hibs went down south?
There's been a lot of that, Man United got a few, and
Arsenal and whatever. I think
Bristol
so.
City got one or two.
So they're just doing a wee rebuild.
But
so
it's a bit of a shame they couldn't make it. I think it worked. What was it, the quadruple double or something?
Something like that now.
But
what's her name that does the BBC Scotland with Thompson? Her with the hair that goes away up in the air. I think she hides the ball under her hair.
I know who you're talking about.
I think she plays for Glasgow.
Glasgow City,
I think she plays for them. So
she plays for Scotland that as well. So they've got a lot of Scotland players, which is why they've done so well. And congratulations to Glasgow City. But I
hope she's a better football player than she's a presenter anyway.
But anyway, that's their season finished. So we'll kind of talk a bit more of them in the build up to their new season in a few months' time. But so Jack Ross's first few games, the Motherwell game, I had a job interview and I missed the first 25 minutes. So what did I miss?
You missed 2.5 goals.
I ran in and I seen Canberries, so
what were you doing?
I had a job interview.
Oh right, okay. Did you get it?
I got to the next stage.
All right, okay,
so
that's fine.
I've done it as good as I could do.
Right, okay.
Hopefully no one from my current work's listening. If they are, I'm probably leaving, so it's fine.
It was good. What a difference just with a manager.
Aye.
A different manager. Just for the word go. Stephen, it was...
You know what it is, and this is the difference between Hecky coming in and Ross coming in, is that with Hecky you just felt as though it was like a new manager bounce. Well, I felt it, but Ross has come in, he's won against a top 6 team, which I was looking for, that Hecky never done. Came in first game against Motherwell, who were actually flying. They were 3rd in the league at the time. Fourth in the league.
Aberdeen had just went above.
Went above. So sitting in the top 4, really competitive all season. They have a lot of good players that are through in the squad now. And we actually went there and we walked the game. Like we played well all across the park. We conceded an early goal, come straight back for it, which is a big difference.
Well, you know what? When that happened, I thought, oh no, here we
Back
go.
to game.
See if that was Heckenbottom. I don't think we would have came back from that.
I already started my Hecky back chance when we went 1-0 down. But it is though. It's just you felt as though there was always that like grit, and we were going to get back into the game. We were pushing forward, and
I
that's
thought
what
the
we were
pace, the pace was actually just a yard ahead of what it was before, because we were getting the ball under Heckenbottom. We were knocking it sideways. Nobody wanted to make that telling pass. Whereas on Saturday, well, actually, give them the due the week before, a couple of weeks before against St Johnstone, they were doing it. But being at Easter Road and having the fans behind them, I think that, especially in the first half, Scotty Allen, it was sublime. And I noticed on the Facebook that you asked some questions, and one of some, I don't know who's that, the Lash, the guy.
Nick had asked, do you feel Alan's form dipped the last couple of matches?
Well, Nick, I don't know what game you're at.
I thought he was quiet last night.
Yeah, quiet last night, but, you know, against Motherwell, God, the first half, he was cutting them in half. You know,
you just saw people chasing balls again, which we've been missing quite a lot, and that's what's given me a bit more faith. And it's the fact that Ross has come out and he's always says, "Oh, we've got a really good squad here. I just need to get them back up to playing where they should be," and that's what we're getting now.
There was one pass that Scott Allen did, Gav, that. You know, we were right we get the comfy seats right behind the dugout, right at the back of the wall, and so we're seeing everything. And I was shouting on a pass to whoever's, I think it was Newell, it was wide right, and he just, I don't know how he did it. You know, he's seen a pass that we never seen, and he put it right through. I think it was a goal, in fact, right through into the 18-yard box. He put it in between two Motherwell players. And it was like, oh, that's brilliant.
Aye.
And if he plays like that, he'll be in the Scotland squad next year. You know,
the only problem,
end of the season.
The only problem with him ever getting in the Scotland squad is that he can't be consistent for a full 90 minutes, and it could be the whole diabetic thing, because this has played a part, especially his first season back. And
he's gone from playing no football to a lot of football this season, because he was, you know, up until, you know, majority of Hecky's games, he was playing the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So exactly. That's a bit. So that's going to take its toll.
Yeah,
right?
I know, 100%, and I completely agree. But I think it is. And I mean, you look at the midfield that we've got now, like getting McTominay, McGinn, and McGregor out of that midfield free. Like, it's got to be a really.
I think you're doing a bit of disservice to Kenny McLean, because I think he's class. But
I always rated Kenny McLean.
But he doesn't get a game, so I can't really argue that too much. But
do you think that Scott Allen says to the gaffer, "Take me off"? With 20 minutes to go, I'm okay with that, because he's feeling. You know,
I think that, I mean, obviously he'll know his body best, but I'm sure there's loads of people involved, you know, at the club that do, you know, a lot of fitness conditioning and things like that. I know the science that goes in behind that, so they'll, you know, do all the tests beforehand, and they'll know what he's most likely to last.
And he did say, like at the start of like in his preparation for this season, like with the yoga and everything else that he was taking up, that he was getting like a lot more minutes out of it. And I mean, even when he comes off at 70 minutes, you think he could still play the 90.
Yeah.
And I think it's just obviously a credit the fact that we've got so many good midfielders who are actually coming up to pace now. Like, Newell's a new player now, completely different.
Yeah, that was my next question. Better game for Joe Newell?
100%. Like, he's just been a new player ever since the St Johnstone game. Come back and he's been on fire.
I quite agree.
High pressing, winning the ball. You know, we're going to come on to St Johnstone, the St Mirren game a bit more now in a minute, but I felt that when he went out to the left, he looked uncomfortable, and that kind of maybe backs up the whole thing of he is more of a central midfielder, and he only lasted out there for a couple of minutes, and then Horgan came on. But anyway, back to the Motherwell game, you know,
the Motherwell game, he did play left quite a lot, and he was quite the difference, like, because you can see, like, when Stevenson, you know, he can't really take it past him, and you give it to Newell now, and the form he's on, he's quite happy to take it past to a free, and like his balls into the box have been unreal.
I was impressed with high pressing and winning the ball high up the pitch and stuff, and
that's,
you know,
what made the
difference
difference.
Down. But arguably a better, I don't know. Arguably, were Motherwell the better team in the second half, though?
Oh yeah, definitely. We fell away, but I think we did a lot in the first half that sort of run out of steam. But we came good. You know, we held on, and we got a goal. And he made the substitutions at the correct time. And I was going to go back to Scotty Allen. It's going to help us if he's not saying happy, but he is happy within himself just to say, right, play 70 minutes, 75 minutes, and then we've got Malin to come on, because it shows we can't play those two in the park at the same time.
I think we done a podcast because we know everything. I think it was about episode 53 or something, saying, is Malin being played too deep? So, and we kind of agreed that he was, but that was a year ago or whatever. So is Malin being played too deep before? And now he's been played in the number 10 position, and he's just coming off the bench, but looks brilliant in the last two games.
When he came on against Motherwell, I reckon that sort of gave Hibs a wee bit more impetus when we're going forward again, and that's when we scored the goal. And Horgan scored.
And he's done a great one too with Horgan for Horgan's goal. So got the assist. He really looked a lot more lively and freed up in that position. And
I like seeing Boiler come sliding in. Just try to make sure. He's changed it as well. And when he's 100% fit, who do we leave out for Boyle?
I know. And Malin was unfortunate not to get a goal himself. There was a ball that came whipped across from the right and kind of bounced in front of him, and he just kind of came sliding and just missed it. Very unlucky not to tap that in. But so I mean, the impact to Horgan and Malin and Boyle have kind of touched on. Man of the match for you guys then? I mean, we've kind of talked about a few of the players.
It's a tough one. I would say Canberra done enough in the first half.
Looked lively,
a shame for him to come off with an injury, and then obviously, or a knock, just maybe protecting him, and then obviously last night as well.
Looked quite uncomfortable.
Looked uncomfortable. So, but I mean, there was talk obviously that he had an ankle knock before, like during the international break with the Albania game. That's how he was kept out of the squad and stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, it could be that. I don't know what it is, but I think it's just. He definitely done enough, and when he's on the ball, he's always looking for a pass, which is good. Some of the flicks were a bit outrageous.
Your man of the match?
Well, I was at the game with Kenny and my mate, and when we were coming out, it was good. First of all, it was great to see that everyone was smiling and patting each other on the back. And of course, I don't know what was played on yours. We were in the West, and it was the Drifters playing. And everybody's singing along, and brilliant. So it was fantastic. But when we were walking up the road in the rain, we were talking about man of the match, and I says to him, I wouldn't give it to any individual, I'd give it to the whole team, because watching these games in the last few weeks, months, it's been rotten. And then when you see that playing, and the whole team were, I always look at when somebody scores a goal and the whole team go to the goal scorer, and there's that camaraderie, whereas sometimes guys just sit back. Sometimes you'll see for Juventus, Ronaldo, he doesn't go there sometimes, just depends on how he feels. And some players are like that, but I was watching every time when Hibs have been scoring a goal, we're all there, and I just think it was a team game on, well, especially against Motherwell, and I think the whole team, got to give them applause for them to pick themselves up and do well, because we've mentioned about 6 players already, and then you can go back to the defence, because Motherwell, they were God, how many chances did they put on us, and the defence kept on sweeping it up and just doing their job. So you've got to give them it as well. It's not just the goal scorers or the guys that are making it.
Going to talk about the defence in a second, because I think there was a couple of times where Motherwell got in quite a bit more easily than they should have, and we're a bit fortunate with their finishing, but we'll talk about that a bit more with the St Mirren game, because that kind of applies to that as well.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. It's that fucking Deutsch guy.
So on the St Mirren game, I mean, let's just start Christian Deutsch talk. Yeah, the boy's on fire. I mean, 5 goals in 3 games. I've got a bit lucky with it, kind of the goal kind of deflected over the goalkeeper, but he needs a bit of luck. Strikers need luck. He's not had it so far. He was saying in the papers, I've got a bit of habit in my career going on a goal scoring run after maybe 3 or 4 games without getting one, then going on a long run.
Try 10, 13.
Hopefully that'll happen and I'll score many more, but we'll see where I end up. And then he also praised Whittaker's kind of influence for kind of having a chat with him. And Whittaker said it's important I scored again to keep the momentum up. It was massively important to me. I want to go on a goal scoring run, and he's definitely doing that.
Well, it's weird because I was speaking to my son, eldest one, Elliot. He's got the football coaching over in Alcudia, and he speaks to a lot of people about football. And you know what this guy said to him? I don't know. Was it Wales he's from? Is it? Yeah. Deutsch. This Welsh boy, and he says, "I see you've signed Deutsch." This must have been start of the season or whenever it was. And he says, he went, "Oh aye." He says, "Oh, that guy will put barry loads in for you." He says he is unbelievable. So he must know him from down south, and he says he'll score loads and loads of goals. And Elliot's looking at him. It must have been just the summer there, and he's like, this guy cannot score. He couldn't score. I was going to say something. And a brothel, the laddie. And that's what's happened. And he says, look, I'm coming good now. So that's what Elliot said. He said, I can't believe that what that guy said. And this is maybe he's just had bad luck. But he was playing one up top, as we keep on coming back to. We always come back to the one thing.
But I mean, we need to be able to play different formations depending on who we're playing and stuff. And when we're playing against Rangers and Celtic, it is always better to have 5 men in midfield, or dare I say 3-5-2. But I think you kind of want to be able to play one up top, so your strikers can't kind of just be able to play in that. We can only play well if there's 2 up top. They have to be able to play if there's 1 up top.
So what type of manager is Jack Russell? Will he, like Lennon? Well, Lennon used to go for it, and they had to think about us. Or is Jack Ross the type of manager that, no, let's go for it, because if we get beat, well, we were supposed to get beat from a higher, Well,
I mean, I think
the bigger teams.
There was the tactical masterclass, whatever it was called, the YouTube thing where he's talking about when he set St Mirren up completely different against Dundee United in the 1-3-0, and Dundee United were flying at that point, and it took everyone by surprise, and they didn't expect him to set up that way. I think that shows that he's maybe a manager, and you've seen it with the changes that he's making in game. He's going to change things depending on how games are going, so probably will set up depending on the opposition, but hopefully for our benefit.
I think the thing is, and this was one of the points that I says about Jack Ross when we were first talking about him, was the fact that he never really got a team going. It was always sort of like dallying about on the ball. He wasn't charging forward, and that was what we had with Lennon. That's what was good, and Stubbs and the rest of them. When you play the 3-5-2, you push forward, you're getting goals, and you're trying to outscore opposition. You look at the Lennon run in the top 6, where we drew 5-0 with Rangers, beat Kilmarnock 5-2. It just came to a point where he was trying to outscore opposition. And I think that's what we're seeing now. We've scored 4 goals against St Johnstone, scored 3 goals against Motherwell, and then you go against St Mirren, and we grinded out a scrappy 2-1 win. It wasn't a attacking masterclass, but the thing was Canberra came off so early, so he had to readjust it then, and that's when the goals started to slow down, and there wasn't as much forward play. You were at the game,
and I think you see, he put Boyle on, he put Boyle out on the right and Newell out on the left, and then Horgan came on. We're playing that 4-2-3-1, and then that wasn't working. And the next thing you know, Boyle's back up top, and Boyle's playing in front of 2,
and that's
him kind of seeing him in game not working and changing it, and then Boyle and Horgan started getting a bit of luck in behind.
But that's
Boyle got in behind about 3 times. Once for the penalty, once where he could have scored, and once where he cut it back. And if it wasn't for a deflection, it was going to Deutsch, and it was 3.
And back to your wonderful interview with Jack Ross, he came out and says that Boyle can be used as a striker as well. So obviously you're not having to rely on Canberra and Deutsch all the time, and that was my worry, was if somebody goes off injured, because you're not going to have them fit, both of them fit all season. And
we might need Sean Boyle more if Canberra. Obviously we don't know about Canberra's injury yet.
Well, they showed that last year at Parkhead, that Boyle was playing up top against Celtic. Now, if he can do it against Celtic, he can do it against St Mirren and the other teams. So yeah. Now,
the only one of the negatives from last night, and there was a few folks saying this, defensive worries. I mean, if St Mirren had a striker, they probably would have put a few of their chances away. They just couldn't finish anything last night, but they were getting in again and again. They hit the post. We talked about Motherwell getting in behind. Maybe some slight worries with it. I mean, you're sort of saying the defence overall was quite good against Motherwell, but I mean, what was kind of the radio saying? You're sitting listening to radio. What were they saying about the defence and St Mirren's chances?
Stubbs was he was busy saying it was a wee bit fragile. And also, I've seen a couple of clips. I've seen the highlights on BBC. And the couple of times coming down their left, our right, we were getting murdered coming in there, cutting in. And Porteous got caught once, and was it Naismith? Naismith got so the two of them got caught, and they were coming down the left and then cutting into the 18-yard box into the right hand side, coming in the way, and I don't know why Porteous was away out there. Where was Naismith? Did he get caught? I don't know, because I wasn't at the game. But there are weaknesses in our defence, but. I think there was a bit. I think we were fragile a bit because it was a hard game against Motherwell. Mm-hmm. Both games were pouring with rain, heavy ground. Same again last night against St Mirren. It was. I think it maybe just be a wee bit of heavy legs.
And also, it's early days. I mean, Ross hasn't had a lot of time to implement his ideas and stuff, and to get 2 tough wins like that is a great, and let's just be positive and
you're coming off the back of like a team who have spent the first 10 games conceding pretty much every single game as well. Like, it's got to take a bit of confidence, like, to get especially Porteous.
St Mirren game, the first game of the season, is the only game we've had a clean sheet this season.
And that's down to Max
in the league. So but on the sort of defensive things, Coral Tracy on Twitter asked, Is the back line at its strongest at the moment, or does Gray and Darren McGregor get back in once fit? I mean, they're back running on the grass now, so they're not far away.
Gray does.
I was actually just going to say that about Gray when we're talking about it. We've got Naismith there. When's he on loan until?
The full season.
The full season, right. With Gray, I think because if we've got games just like they're coming up at Christmas, we've got a good right back and Naismith, we've got a good right back with Gray, and we can alternate, and I don't think it's going to weaken the team. So I think that's probably a good thing. That before it was always Gray, and when he was out the team, we would possibly lose because we were weakened in that area, and we were actually having to put young Porteous out there sometimes. So I think because we've got 2 good right backs. And who else is there?
I've got Tom James as well.
Tom James as well. So we're actually quite strong, and with McGregor coming back as well. But I think he'll be a bit part player when we need a rest, or when there's injuries, and there's going to be more injuries.
Yeah. I think with McGregor, obviously McGregor back's great, but I think Jackson as well. Maybe somebody we should be looking at the centre. So I don't know. We've got options, but at the end of the day, we're winning. So why change a win team? I think maybe got to be looked at. How handling a couple of times the Motherwell player kind of got past them and kind of got along the line and put dangerous balls across the goal, and thankfully there was no one there to tap it in. And I
still think last night though was due to the weather, because there was a lot of balls that were skating off the ground, and what I seen, and it must have been a wee bit difficult last night for defenders to try and we've seen it at the other end, with St Mirren with us, they took Boyle out that penalty. So
what was the radio saying about the referee? Because that is one of the worst refereeing performances. Well, maybe not one of the most inconsistent refereeing performances I've seen in a long time.
Really, never mention it. Referee.
He seemed to lose the game quite early on. Quite inconsistent with what he deemed a booking, what he didn't. And
no, tell a lie. I just remember Stubbs was crucifying him. Aye. He says who was on with him again? Was it Thompson?
Stubbsy.
Aye, Stubbs and Thompson were absolutely crucifying. And then when Boyle got that tackle on him in the second half, I seen it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think if they had VAR, they would have a look at that. But no, they were giving the referee a hard time, and then Hallberg out just because he spoke to the ref, he got booked.
Aye, it was. He thought it was a corner. I thought it was a corner as well. And when it didn't get given for a corner,
did you get booked?
No, I didn't. I don't know why. But he turned to the linesman and he cursed something in Swedish. He was right in front of us. We could hear him loud as day, very loud, very. But to me, he just looked like a passionate player that was frustrated. His team didn't get a.
Well, Stubbs. That's when Stubbs went for the referee. He says that's absolutely ridiculous. He says some of the tackles that's been going on here, nothing's been said.
Yeah.
And then Hallberg just looks and speaks to him and gets booked.
It's good. I mean, I know.
And of course, we had 4 bookings.
I know Stubbs is an ex-manager, but it's good to hear that it wasn't just fans like myself being
Stubbs is
biased.
our next manager. I like that.
No, he was actually talking up St Mirren as well.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember he was with St Mirren, and he was talking up some of these.
He left us on much better terms than he left St Mirren. So yeah. So I mean, first 2 games, 2 wins. 3 wins now on the bounce if you include the St Johnstone game. So all positive. And we'll come back to the Kilmarnock game in a minute. But what's your kind of 3-word review? I mean, we do the 3-word review afterwards. Make sure you follow us on social media for all that sort of stuff if you want to join on that. But what's your 3-word review for the first 2 games of Jack Ross?
Hibs are back.
Hibs are back. Oh, I like that one. Stuart?
I'm going to have a 4-word. Hibs are back too. Honestly, I've not got any words for it. It's fantastic because I see a different team and I see my team's back rather than what they were. We were talking about number 98, right? The last one. Yeah, the Hibs talk. I'm like, we're so negative. And we're saying we want to get out of this and get positive. We're positive again because the team are playing with positivity.
Yeah.
That's it. End off. We're back to where we were before. And it's lovely to see. And I tell you now, the game against Kilmarnock on Saturday, you better get your tickets now if you've not got a ticket. Because I think people will be. It's Christmas, coming up to Christmas. People will want to go out and enjoy themselves, go to the game, a few beers. That's what. Yeah, that'll be right. Online now. No, it's honestly, I've never seen that coming out Easter Road. No, the jeering before we were coming out and everybody's patting each other on the back and smiling, singing to the Drifters. It was like, what's happened here? Everybody's applauding at the sideline, just before they go down the wee tunnel. It was
good to see.
It was fantastic.
Aye. So finally, just final point, we talked about Chris Doidge quite a bit. Obviously Celtic sing I Want to Be Edward because it sounds like adored. It's kind of quite clever, and they've got, I think Talking Balls have done like a mug and stuff, and they sing that song. What's your view on I Want to Be Chris Doidge?
Nah,
it's too early.
I mean, no, I don't think it's too early. It just doesn't work. It's like Celtic have come up with a clever song and Hibs have went, oh, that's quite good, we'll have that. And it doesn't work. It's Edward adored. It's because it sounds similar.
No, because I've got that name. What are you going to do with Doidge?
We've got a couple of Doidge songs.
Could be worse. Could be gimme a man like Canberry. Craig.
You like that one?
That was really poor.
No, I don't know. That's better.
To be honest, if we won the Scottish Cup, yeah, fair enough, or we won the league, yeah. But let them play.
I mean, we kind of moan about Celtic, we were the first through at the Green and all the copies with so much stuff, and it's like, I tell you what, go copying Celtic with songs.
No, I've just play the game.
Just my opinion, but
shouting them when they do something well.
There's a couple other songs which folk were singing about Doidge, which I kind of enjoyed in on, but that one, no.
What was it? I'm singing it.
I can't mind it.
You do. Come on.
I'm not a singer. Okay, so just for a bit of fun now, we'll do a bit of quiz to kind of lighten things up. So, first question we've got here. So again, these questions are from the Taxi Board game. Check out if you want to. I think it's in the Hibs shop on the Black Sale. It's a bit cheaper than now. We're not getting paid to see any of this. It's just a good game. Check it out. But anyway, which former Hibs midfielder from the late 80s, advantage Stuart, became the academy coach manager in 2014?
Stuart. Eddie May.
Correct. 1-0 Stuart. I should probably get a pen and write this in my hand.
What chance have I got to? The pensioners, man.
Okay. Now, I don't know how old Stuart is, but surely he's not old enough for this one. Name the manager that managed Hearts from 1919 to 1935 and Hibs from 1936 to 1948.
He was born in 1919.
I have not got a Scooby.
Any idea?
Not a clue. I didn't bother me.
Willie McCartney was the name.
Aye, him. Is that Paul's brother?
What round of the European Cup did Hibs reach in 1956?
Semi-final.
Correct.
He never says his name.
Stuart, semi-final.
There you go. Guess who I have in my cab? The Scottish international striker signed from Millwall in 1997, played 82 games for Hibs before moving to Dunfermline permanently in the year 2000.
I know it.
So a striker who played for Scotland, Millwall. Correct? Yeah, sorry.
No, correct. Aye, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot his name again. Black hair, curly. Oh, Scottish. Oh, that's going to annoy me now. I know it.
Any idea, Stephen?
Stevie Crawford.
Yes.
Correct.
Oh no.
Filled one back, Stephen. Well done.
I wasn't actually sure if he had went straight to Dunfermline. I thought he went to Rangers or something, but
He's
So-
a manager now.
Guess who I have in my cab? Brought up in Muirhouse and a Hibs fanatic as a boy.
Stephen Derek Riordan.
Nope. He went on to play for Aberdeen and Manchester United.
Stuart. Gordon Strachan.
Correct. Okay, so you both can answer this one, and it's whoever's,
Premature, I would say, Stephen.
who's ever closest. So just take a wild guess. What was the official attendance when Hibs played Rangers at Hampden in 1948?
Stuart. 122,000.
Is that any point of guess?
Just make a guess.
116,000.
See, I would have worked either way, but see, when you let the other person go
I know,
first, and
I
then
know.
you go one up
Just
or
one down.
one or down. If you'd went one up, you would have been right, because so Stuart gets a point because it was 143,570.
Oh, how
4-1 lead. Okay, so what colour and design were the Hibs' first tops in the 1870s?
Stephen, green and white hoops.
Correct.
I was there.
Okay, another guess I've got my cab. Born in Aberdeen, he played for Birmingham City and came off the bench to score the third and final goal in the fifth round replay at Easter Road in 2017. So Scottish midfielder.
Stephen, Fraser Fyvie.
Nope.
Oh.
I'll give you a clue. He was on loan.
And whereabouts? Did you go and say it again?
So on loan from Birmingham City.
Oh, I know. Can I guess again?
No, you can't.
You've
said
had your
guess.
chance.
No,
If
shut
he
up.
gets it wrong, can
So-
I guess?
No,
Nah.
no.
You can guess, but it won't be for a point.
Oh.
Third and final goal in the fifth round replay at Easter Road in February 2017.
Who did we play?
Hearts.
He'll not get it, and I ken it. Raging.
Again,
You mentioned them before we started
I did,
recording the podcast, actually.
did I?
Or Stephen mentioned them, but time's up.
Oh,
The answer was Andrew Shinney.
Oh no! Christ. So it was.
Who was the captain when Hibs won the League Cup in 2007?
Stephen, Rob Jones.
Correct. Oh, 4-3s, bringing it back. Guess who I have in my cab? The French winger signed on a short-term deal from Wraith Rovers in 2000 before moving to Celtic.
I know, but I can't remember his name.
It's a few times I've had that.
Did he go? No.
I know it.
So French was at Wraith Rovers, signed for Hibs on a short-term deal.
He
and
went to
then
Celtic
went
for
to
50
Celtic.
grand. What's his name again?
You don't get a point for knowing how much he went for. That was
Aye,
not the
they
question.
stole him. They stole him for Hibs. Bastards, so they are. Celtic. Oh, that's shocking.
French.
I was going to say Gattuso.
Also
but
played as a
no.
fullback
Aye. Oh, aye.
and a striker at Hibs, I believe.
I'll
No.
I'll take a Gattuso. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is Gattuso.
Didier Agat.
I knew it was a G. Right.
What? So I guess this is really a 50-50 chance, I guess. What is the name of the Hibs supporters website / forum that was formed in 2002?
Stephen, Hibs.net.
Nope.
No. Should have just let you go first.
Ah.
So there's only one other one.
You can't remember it. He's not technological.
Oh, cheers. What's the score in the doors anyway? Is it 4-3?
Aye.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Is it? It's the last one.
That's those most questions.
Oh, right, okay. Hibs done it. It's no Hibs. Oh, I don't know. It's no Hibs.
Correct answer was HibsBounce.com.
Oh, that's the old age, you know.
I thought that was before 2002. That's
So did
why
I.
was
I
confused.
thought it was going for you.
Between what ends of Easter Road did the famous 5 slope run down towards?
Sure. Dunbar End.
So looking for the stands.
The north.
So the answer.
No, right.
East
say
and
that
west.
again. Say that again.
So which stands did the slope run between? So run down. So between what
East to
ends
west,
of Easter
Stephen,
Road
east
did
to west.
the correct answer was the south stand to what is now known as the famous Five.
I mean, never read that right.
Oh.
You said where
You
did
said
it run from?
Run in between.
All right,
Right, get rid of that one.
ignore that one.
Right.
Who was the shirt sponsor in 2009?
Stephen, White and Mackay.
Nope.
Oh no, it's the one after.
I'll go for McBean.
No.
You're close. McEwen Fraser Legal.
Oh no.
What record did Hibs supporter Sam Martinez, who sadly died a few months after the Scottish Cup final, hold?
Sure. He was the oldest Hibs supporter.
He was. That's right. So 5-3. I don't know how many questions we've got left. Who was what drinks manufacturer, which connects to Leith, was a sponsor on the Hibs tops from 2011 to
Stephen,
2017?
Travis.
Correct. Okay, so it's. I think this is the last question. It is. This is the last question.
And what is
the
it?
score is
5-4.
5-4. So Stephen,
could it be like the Hibs Rangers
Rangers
game?
In the season 2005-2006, Hibs defeated Rangers twice at Ibrox by the same scoreline.
Stephen 3-0. It is 3-0 because Ibrox, Ivan Sproul scored a hat trick.
That's correct.
Give me it. Yes!
Oh, shit.
Right. 2 seconds while I get a tiebreaker. So, tiebreaker question. So, 5-5 from 14 questions. He's got 10 out of 14 between the two. He is 4 wrong or unanswered. So, this is a tiebreaker. Guess who I have in my cap. The midfielder made his debut in 1982 and made 247 appearances, but was the top goal scorer twice before joining Oldham in 1990.
Stuart. Paul Kane.
Correct.
Yes! Get on there, Kano.
Stephen, you've
Look at his
interviewed
face.
him.
I've interviewed him.
You'd have interviewed him asking about his move to Oldham.
Yeah, Kim, what was annoying was the fact that I thought he was 81, but he never got his start. He never got his debut till 82.
Well, you know what gave it away? 1982, I was 16, and Kano was 16 as well, because he used to play along against me when he was with Salvi, and I was at Dinah. So
16
he had to be
30.
he had to be the same. He had to be the same age. So there you go. Get on there,
Robbed.
Stevie. You look sick, mate.
Old age prevails, eh?
Right, so Kilmarnock on Saturday. How are we feeling about this game? How do we keep this positivity going?
Well, as long as we don't do what Hearts done and give them a what was it? 10 minutes.
3 goals in 16 minutes.
60 minutes, yeah. So yeah, I think we keep it tight, and it's at Easter Road. I think there's going to be more crowd there. Said that earlier. I think we can do it, and then we'll be up there level points with them.
Stephen,
As long as we don't go behind in the first 10 minutes, I think we'll stand a good chance.
what's your kind of thoughts been on Kilmarnock this season? Quite inconsistent quite poor to begin with, then turned it round, and then more recently they've kind of gone a bit consistent. You know, looking at even the last 3 games, big win against Hearts, a draw with Hamilton, and then a 3-0 defeat against Aberdeen. You know, obviously Aberdeen are a good team, but just really inconsistent.
Where did they
results
get
there.
beat from Aberdeen? Was it home or away?
It was at Pittodrie, yeah.
I was going to say that. I don't think they've been travelling well. I think they've been playing well in that bloody park of theirs. That's the problem. Teams play well in their. That's the same as Livingston. They were doing the same because it's a plastic park. So
yeah, the last away win was Hearts, which everybody's beaten, on the 5th of October.
There you go.
Other than that, it's been getting beat away from home
yeah.
or winning at home.
Well, I'm going to go for 3 points. I think we'll beat them. I think it could be again 2-1, 3-1. We'll
3-1.
Probably let a goal in, but
We always let a goal in.
Aye.
Yeah.
So 2-1 or 3-1 for Hibs.
Now, but we kind of talk about the defence before. What do you make of people? I'll bring up people who are asking in a second, but what do you make of people saying that Marciano should return to the team?
100% he should.
Yeah.
The amount of shots that Maxwell's faced, compared to the amount that he's conceded, is ridiculous. Like his expected concessions must be 1-1. Like he has like one shot against him each game and he concedes it.
There was a few couple of weak shots from some run that were on target last night, so that'll probably get stats up a wee bit. But we had Matt asking, is it time to give Rocky a run of games?
Yeah, I definitely would. I think we spoke about this last time. Maxwell's quite small, and Rocky's must be about 6'2", 6'3", big guy, and every time he's been dropped, when Lennon done it, he's came back and he's been playing fantastic.
Is there a thing though with goalkeepers though that, I mean, obviously this has happened with Rocky with the last manager, but if you drop a goalkeeper, you maybe don't have the same sort of, if something then happens to Rocky, or if Rocky leaves or whatever, then to go back to Maxwell, and kind of there's that thing of, you'd hope the goalkeeper would come in and be like, I'm going to prove you wrong, but do you kind of think there's maybe a mentality with goalkeepers of like, well, you lost your faith in me, why should I be, now you're back in goals for you? So is there danger of dropping Maxwell at that?
I don't think so, because worst comes to worst, Maxwell's on loan. Get rid of him, and then you've got Bogdan sitting there on a short-term deal. Extend his contract for 2 years and put him against Rocky again, because, I mean, you can't keep Rocky out of the team. You looked at what happened with Bogdan when he got dropped. He went out with a concussion, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Then never got back in the squad. But he was still sitting there when he came back, challenging, and he probably should have got a run in the team come the end of last season. But like, you look at Marciano's like performances for Israel, like, it's not as if he's been sitting back superb and doing nothing. Like, he goes into a squad after not playing 6 league games, and then he's like does really, really well for Israel, who are a team that even Scotland are expected to beat these days. So you look at it, so you look at it in that light, and I think that like it would be the time now with all the changes that have recently been made to bring Marciano back into the squad. And we go back to the argument that me and Dave had a lot, was the fact that you have Maxwell on loan, he plays and plays and plays, you outprice yourself at the end of the season, and then you've got to try and bring Rocky back into the squad with 12 months left on his deal, try to convince him that he's our number one and that he should be signing on again.
You've got to remember, Maxwell was brought in by the old manager, Heckenbottom, because he don't know why, but he didn't fancy Rocky.
Yep.
So new manager come in, he's maybe looking at Rocky and thinking, I'm going to have to give him a chance sometime.
Yep.
So why not give him when there's a pile of games coming up, give him a chance. And I think he'll be pleasantly surprised, because I don't think Jack Ross has seen him play. And if he does see him, I think I really do. I think Rocky's a far better goalie than Maxwell, and it just so happens Maxwell's been involved in the last 3 games that we've won. So I've got to give him a chance, but you've got to give Rocky a go sometime. And he's only got a year after this.
Yeah.
So he's got a year and a half then, really.
18 months.
18 months. So.
And on you sort of mentioned there about the run of games we've had and stuff, and giving people minutes. We've now started with the same 11. I'm a big advocate for consistency, but we've played the same team, and we've seen that with St Mirren. St Mirren maybe starting to teams will look back at tapes and see how you're playing. Do we maybe need to freshen up with a couple of tweaks?
The difference is as well, like, you can take a goalkeeper out when they're conceding every game. But if any time during that, like during the last 10 games or 11 games that Maxwell's played, if he had kept a clean sheet, it would have been a different story. The only clean sheet that he's actually kept, to my knowledge, was against Kilmarnock in the cup. Yeah.
But getting away from the goalkeeper, I appreciate your point. It's a really good point. Well made, Stephen. But like getting in the rest of the team, should we maybe looking to fresh things up? We've started with the diamond the last 3 games. We've started with the same 11. Is there any sort of positions in the team would maybe we've seen how effective Boyle, Horgan and Mallon have been coming off the bench. Would you stick to that with them being effective or the bench, or is there maybe an argument for them to kind of get into the starting 11 now?
It rolls back into you need a bad performance to change things, and even though we won against St Mirren last night, it wasn't a good performance.
No.
Everybody that's been in the chat, and you were at the game with Dave and that, everybody says that it was a performance that was gritty, but it was lacking in quality. And when you've got something like that, that's when you can start to make your changes. Slivka wasn't great against Motherwell. A lot of people, for some reason on the forum,
I thought it was good as well.
I thought it was just, he went missing for big parts of the first half, but it was maybe just because a lot of the players around him were doing a lot more. Like, I mean, I'm a big advocate for Slivka. Says like at the start of Jack Ross' reign that it might be a chance for Slivka to come into the squad, get his run of games and become good. And like, I still want that to happen, so I wouldn't be dropping Slivka. But you've got Newell, who's been outstanding in the middle of the park, left to a diamond. Boyle needs to get into that squad somehow, and maybe if Canberry's like lagging or anything like that, might be a chance to freshen it up, put Boyle up on play a 4-3-3.
I was going to say, Stephen, there's a possible chance that Canberry could be not fit on Saturday because we don't know. So
injury,
rather than pushing the laddie and he aggravates whatever's wrong with his leg, ankle, whatever, his back. So Boyle could be starting. You know what I mean? Canberry might not be on the bench, and then you've got Ollie Shaw coming in. Then when at the end of the game, near the end of the game, you never know. That's things. Football is so.
So would you only make changes if we were forced to through injury, or would you look to freshen things up a bit?
Well, it's aye and a no. You don't really want to change the team, but you've still got to say, if you've got Sunday, Tuesday, Sunday. Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday.
7
and with the weather,
7 games in 3 days is a lot.
Right, aye. So really, it's something that you've got to. This is where a good manager comes into his self. He's got to say, right, you're toiling. We're going to have to put you on the bench then, and you can get your last 20 minutes or so. And these guys know if they are feeling it. And as I say, Canberry might be injured, so he could be on the bench. Maybe want to play the last 20 minutes, and you know what he's like. He'll come on and do the damage. But we're only surmising. Down in East Mains where they're training, they know who's fit and who's not.
Press conference tomorrow, so I'm sure that question will be
asked. Are you going down?
Yeah, so that question will be asked. We'll hopefully find out more about his injury and whether he'll be fit for the weekend.
And just ask him. Big Stu is asking if Canberry's fit or not.
So to finish up, then, what's your kind of score predictions for the game?
3-1.
3-1 again.
I was right at Motherwell.
Yeah.
3-1.
Aye, and it was funny because I was holding it. I was going, please stay 2-1. Just up you, because I say 2-1.
That's why I let you win the quiz.
No, I'll say 2-1, 3-1 for Hibs. I feel positive. I think we're going to outdo Kilmarnock because they've not been travelling well, and we at home. I've got the fan base. We're starting to get the banging the drums again. It's looking positive.
I'm just going in the right direction.
What are you going for?
I don't know, I never even thought about it.
Well, come on, Nick.
I was going to say 2-0, but I don't know if I can see us getting a clean sheet.
That's the biggest problem, and that's the only thing that really bothers me is the fact that we've started a real big run. Kilmarnock don't have a proven goal scorer because Eamon Brophy's only scored 3 league goals this season.
And last season he scored, I've made his points before, he scored 5 goals from open play. The rest were all penalties.
And you look at that and put in perspective how bad we're playing, and you still think that you've got to concede against Kilmarnock.
But then Kilmarnock are scoring goals, we've seen that. So,
but that's the thing though, they're not scoring that many. Like Hearts just scored 5 against St Mirren and then conceded 3 with a reply against Kilmarnock. Like it's one of these things. It's just there's no consistency. They've had an absolute shocker on the road, and yet you still think that we've got to concede. But it's no fault of the players. It's the fault of Maxwell.
I'll turn it around. 5-0 Hibs.
Right, okay, that's
the bonus is, Gav. The bonus is if we beat Kilmarnock, we're level on points, and we're 10 points ahead of the Jambos.
And they're not going to beat.
They'll not beat Rangers at Ibrox.
So
Rangers are too strong for them. So there you go. It could be a cricket score.
What a turnaround, eh?
Yeah. So 10 points. Mind the gap, guys.
Mind the gap. So we're going to finish up today with your guys' questions, or at least the ones we haven't covered already. So we've got Lawrence asking, and I guess Michael asking something quite similar. Michael asking, do you think Josh Field will ever play for the team again? And Lawrence asking, do you think every player deserves a clean slate? Thinking Jackson, Middleton, even Vela. So what's your kind of thoughts on that? I mean, we kind of touched on this last week, but players getting clean slates, and we're talking about potentially rotating the squad. Could we see any of these players come in?
Sad to say, but I think Vela. I think he'll be away in January window.
Come on, where's your positivity?
No, it's not. I'm just saying. I don't think.
I heard a brilliant point on Monday that he signed for Bolton when he was 8 years old. This is his first time being at a club that hasn't been Bolton. That there's going to be a settling period.
Right. Well, he's had it. No, come on. I think if he's he wasn't there on the bench last night, was he? No.
Maybe
was
it's
it
a
on-
niggle. Maybe it's injured. I don't know.
Oh, right. Well, if he's not injured, he's not anywhere near the squad. And what happens is Jack Ross's come in and he'll be wanting to free up money to buy his own players, bring his own players in. And I think Vela could be. And I'm just saying, I could imagine that it could be Vela could be one of them that is moved on.
I would be really disappointed because when the transfer window closed, he was the sign I was most excited about.
Well,
I
we're
hope that we're yet still to see the best of him. Stephen, what's your kind of thoughts?
I just think there's far too many players in front of him now, and if you want players like Fraser Murray back in the squad and that, then Vela's got to be left out. And because I mean, like, you're not got to take Malin out of the squad, you're not got to take Newell out of the squad on his current form. No chance. Halberg's coming out of the team, Allen's coming out of the team. They're all central midfielders where Vela plays, and they talk about this one or two like youth players being fed through. There's another couple of like under 20s players that'll be pushing next season, and I just think that there's far too many in front of them now.
Gav, there's a question for you tomorrow. Ask the gaffer.
Maybe, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think we're writing him off too soon. I think
I don't think it's writing him off though.
But
Like,
you've just said about Slivka maybe not doing as well as you kind of thought. So maybe there's I don't know. I think there's a really talented player there, and I think
Listen,
he's a wee eating your words when it comes to the end of the season. He's winning Player of the Year.
Well, there's no chance of that. But we always hope that someone comes good. There's Deutsch.
Mm-hmm.
But with Vela, he's never been in the squad for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been actually on the bench. So if that's the case, why? If he's not injured, why? So I just he'll be on good wage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if anything happens or any players that go, he could probably be one of them, and so will Middleton, because he's went missing as well. So you've got to remember two good wages could get some other players that Jack Ross
potentially
knows of.
But then Jack Ross didn't rule out not making any moves in January if he's quite happy with the squad. So
look at Begiak, like just sitting there on the bench.
So on January, Ewan has asked, we've touched on Vela, you've also mentioned Middleton, so we've kind of covered them, but is there anybody else you would like to see out in January? Also, who would you like to see in?
I wouldn't like to see anybody out apart from Middleton.
Because he plays for Rangers.
Not because he plays for Rangers, because he has a right hun, and it annoys me. Like the fact that he had all that stuff on Twitter and that about like when he joined Hibs and that's all gone back to Rangers now. I think he knows he's way back to Rangers. I think he will be the first one to go. 1st of January, he'll be out the door. Especially with Boyle and
And
Horgan.
he'll be on his move again because he'll never get his game at Rangers.
No,
He's not good enough.
I can see him going to Holland or something. Where was it? He was supposed to be going to
but
Holland.
He wanted to come to Hibs, so
Yeah,
I'm giving him all the chances because of that.
Yep. But
again,
that's just
give
because
him-
he's got to get more recognition playing in Scotland, where Rangers are got to be able to scout him every week without having to pay
You're
for
so
flights and
cynical,
that.
Stephen. Next question, Luke has asked: are we allowed to say that Jack Ross is at the wheel?
No, that song's been tarnished now.
Do you think 3-5-2 last night would have resulted in a bigger scoreline?
Yeah.
of course.
And final question: will you change the Hibs Talk podcast logo or even update it? We've already changed it twice
Who's wanting it changed? It's obviously somebody that comes onto it.
it was
Craig just wants an avatar. Stuart.
It was not.
Stuart just wants his
me.
caricature.
It was Dave, but not that Dave, not our Dave. It's different.
No,
Dave.
somebody else. I read
But
that.
I replied to him and sort of says, no plans to change it. I don't know if he's maybe just not a big fan of the Saturn badge. I know a lot of people are, but at the same time, you know what? I grew up with it. I like it, and I think, we don't want to have the same badge as the club because we want to differentiate from the club. So yeah,
and it's nice and clean.
You can
You
fit
look
everything
good
on
looking
it.
in the eye.
aye. So,
Yeah.
so that's just done for the podcast. What are you up to tonight then?
Well, I'll maybe get my dinner now. God, phoning me at 5:30.
Sorry.
It was actually 5 to 6, but
Was it? Was it?
What about yourself, Stephen?
got the bairns, so I'll be going home to get them.
Sort them out.
Right.
Aye.
Probably already be in their bed now, actually.
Aye. So
Well, I'm going home now, and I'm going to get an Indian
Champions League tonight.
and Champions League on BT.
What game you fancying?
You know what? I'll watch the goal score.
Oh, is that the thing with James
You don't-
Richardson in that?
Don't miss a thing.
Aye.
They talk a lot of rubbish, but I just turn it down. I was listening to the Hibs game last night. Listen to the Hibs game, watched that, and I've never missed a goal. And it means that you don't have to go back in it. And
And they show the goals straight away, don't they?
yeah,
Aye.
they just turn right over to it, And I've got to say, watch that one with Mourinho. We can talk about
I know.
managers who came
Aye.
back 3-2 and 3-2.
Aye.
4-2.
4-2.
Oh, 4-2, sorry. Aye,
Aye.
sorry, 4-2.
It was
3-2
there
at the
was
weekend.
there was the amount of people that were turning around and going, oh my god, look so much for Josie, blah blah blah,
Aye.
2-0 and that, and aye.
Can
and
I
then
say-
we were walking afterwards, and I heard the guys walking behind us going, "They finished 4-2 to Spurs." I was like, no, it didn't.
Well, I've got to say, the best pass of the night last night was from the ball boy.
Oh,
Did
it
you
was
see it?
brilliant, absolutely
Great
brilliant.
throw.
And Josie chatted.
He went up and gave a cuddle.
Brilliant. He was saying
Great.
afterwards he wanted to get him in the dressing room, but didn't ken who he was. So I'm sure that they'll sort something out for that laddie, because that was brilliant.
Oh.
It was genuinely an assist.
Aye, it was.
It was
Aye.
brilliant. So
And
have you
then-
seen it?
No.
No, I just
Oh,
avoid it because it's
fantastic.
Spurs.
Because it's Spurs.
Big Arsenal
Aye,
fan.
It was great. So, no, it was good to see. Good
One
to see
day,
that.
we don't get to see that in the Europa League.
Well, enjoy your dinner tonight, Stuart.
Yes, thank you very
And
much.
Have a. I don't know if I can even do it. Have a good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Stephen. And thanks for listening, folks. We'll be back for our 100th episode on Monday with a couple of special things, hopefully. Sorry,
Awesome.
Dad.
Cheers.